Better.
All right, are we live? Yeah, we are live. Hello, everyone. Warm welcome and special thanks to all of you who joined us on a special edition of ProductTank event organized by two awesome communities split from Croatia and Odesa, Ukraine. My name is Andrea and I'm co-organizer of ProductTank Croatia. Next to me are also two amazing gentlemen, Alex, co-organizer of ProductTank Odessa, and Gerg, another one, co-organizer of ProductTank Split. All right, so today is another World Product Day. For those of you who just joined, it's an actually annual event when we celebrate product and our awesome community. So many product tanks around the world host events like this one, but this year, World Product Day is even more special because it marks 10 years since actually the inception of ProductTank meetup. To celebrate, we invited three respected speakers. So Branka, Ray, and Jurica, thank you very much for joining. It's so great to have you here tonight with us. Since we are celebrating online, we are literally connecting people from all over the world. So many thanks for all of you who are listening live. Please feel free to use chat space for all your questions at any time when you want. Right now, I encourage everyone to at least share where are you connecting from, and feel free to network with each other. It's actually the point of meeting up, right? That's why we are here, and let's have fun tonight. Just for your note, your questions will be shared with our speakers, and we will address those later in Q&A session. All right, so our agenda for tonight is pretty simple and entertaining at the same time. We basically already started with an intro. Then we will roll on with the speakers' presentations. And after that, we will have a Q&A session moderated by my colleagues, Alex and Gerber. But before we dive into presentations, let me give you just a quick overview and background about the ProductTank community. This is interesting, especially for those who are first time with us, and it's always good to hear some fun facts. So basically, ProductTank Meetup is event for product people, organized by product people, right? So everyone who is somehow involved in a product development lifecycle is more than welcome to join us. We are, as you can see, fun people, and we don't bite, so feel free to join and be one of us. So ProductTank Meetup was founded in 2010 in London, and today it spans over 200 plus cities across the globe. After some time, Product Meetup has grown into Mind Product Organization, which today basically, besides bringing together the product community through meetups, it offers training workshops, conferences, and the best product content online that you can find on their website. Besides that, just recently, Mind the Product has taken all of that to the next level, offering their members a membership program to level up a career, build better products, and lead actually successful product teams. So if you're interested, make sure you check it out and give it a try. And if you need any more information, just visit their website for more info. On the same note, all of you who are tonight with us, you can get involved as well. So you can contribute, you can engage. Therefore, feel free to reach out if you would like to speak, write blog posts, host meetups, or if you just have a great idea to share, let us know, reach out, right? And we will do our best to guide you to be successful in that. So before we kick off with our presentations today, I would like to just remind you to use the chat space. Post your questions, comments. We love that. And also spread the word. If you hear something or learn something tonight, share it with your network and make some noise on social media using World Product Day and Product Day hashtags. And we would love to read those later after this event. And not to forget, special thanks goes to our sponsors, Mods Create and Riddle. They are very good sponsors, and thank you for supporting us over all these years. And all of you guys listening, make sure you check them out. All right. So as ladies come first, my pleasure is to kick this event off with lady Branka Bebic, who works as a Facebook client partner at HTT Pool, and she will share with us successful advertising stories that achieve strategic customer goals. So here you go, Branka, the virtual pro. You're on mute.
Everything good now? I think I'm having some technical difficulties because it's not showing. I'm muting, but it seems like it is.
Everything's fine now. You may continue.
Okay, cool. Thanks. Hi, everyone. I'm Branka. I work as a Facebook client partner at HTT Pool. This is like some kind of small Facebook office inside of countries where Facebook doesn't have their own office. So we are actually serving the market as if the Facebook had open office in countries like Balkans and like Latvia, Estonia, and stuff like that. So basically what we do here is we try to help clients navigate through all of the Facebook products, especially advertising ones. And we try to kind of help them achieve their goals with Facebook ads. You would call it maybe salesy, but we're trying actually to teach them how to use the product. And the product that I chose to show you today is basically lead ads that helped us achieve strategic customer goals for two of our clients. One of them is Blue Sun Hotels, and another one is a CPG natural mineral water company. I'm going to share my presentation completely now, so you can see my screen. And stop me if you can't hear me. I'm hoping that's not going to happen, but let's start and see. So first one of our clients is Blue Sun Hotels and Resorts, and I'm going to tell you how they used lead ads compared to, I don't know, some kind of direct response ads to kind of get the goals of people coming to their resorts. So just a little bit maybe like introduction on the client and why they wanted to do this. So Blue Sun Hotels and Resorts are mostly resort-based company. They usually accept families who have different needs and different strengths, and they have like grandmas coming to them, and they need like 2 separate rooms, 3 separate rooms. It's not a typical hotel chain where you would just go and book a room, but you would probably need to talk to someone. So the reason why, even though travel is really huge in direct response and when people just go and book the hotel, the reason why they needed someone to actually go and deep dive with each particular client, they actually wanted to kind of find this way to reach the customers who wouldn't be willing to book immediately, but who needed to talk to someone. How they proposed this cooperation and how we helped them use some kind of Facebook family of apps services. We kind of told them, okay, then let's try to make this meaningful lead ad that is going to show people, okay, you can come and we can serve you with some kind of information online, but then we are going to transfer it to offline. So what they wanted, basically what the whole goal and purpose of all our hotel clients is that they drive direct bookings. So they skip booking.com and stuff like that, and they have direct bookings through their website or through phone or a call center and everything. So they wanted some kind of easy and interactive solution to create some kind of better customer experience. And as I said, because of all of their offer that they have on their website is very complicated and complex, and people cannot make up their mind immediately on the website. They needed somehow to bring people and talk to them. So what the product they wanted to use was a messenger chatbot. It's going to actually show on the video here how it works. So they wanted to drive traffic, and that's why they used Facebook lead ads, drive traffic on this chatbot that would give some kind of first step of the product where people would actually get some kind of offer, and then they would take it offline and actually call the customer. So you can see through the video here how the chatbot actually works and what kind of questions it does answer and it doesn't and stuff like that. But while you look at this video, I actually wanted to show you how they used Facebook and all of the other Facebook options to utilize this option. So Facebook actually has this trip consideration thing that maybe some of you who used to work with Facebook ads saw. So if someone, for example, is searching for a destination or is liking pictures from destination or is doing anything relating to that destination, that is going to be connected through that user profile on Facebook. So what Bluesun did was they kind of targeted the whole Facebook population with some kind of broad messaging about destination, Croatia, and stuff like that. And after they targeted and collected this whole group of people who wanted to visit Croatia and maybe wanted to come to their hotels, they did a different remarketing campaign for engaged visitors. So the visitors who actually visited their website went through either checking of the prices or saw the gallery of the rooms or who started booking but didn't submit, and retargeted them with messenger ads that led to this chatbot. So it was really, really hugely targeted campaign. And what they actually wanted to do it very fast. So if someone visited Bluesun Hotels and Resorts website and did all of these triggers that they wanted them to do, they would actually serve them with messenger ads up to 3 days after a website visit. So that was really cool because these were really engaged customers. They weren't someone who didn't know about this and who was surprised to receive that visit. And then the third step of the whole campaign was that they created this chatbot that you saw at the beginning and draw traffic to the chatbot with messenger ads. And then after a customer clicked on send message, the chatbot led them to purchase funnel by asking them like the right questions. How many nights do you need? When would you like to come? Do you have kids? Do you want dinner or breakfast? You know, those kind of like really, really hot leads that would be used later on lead nurturing and marketing automation to get better results. All of that then went into their HubSpot channel, and then they actually had qualified leads. What was really interesting is that when they compared results of this approach and not the direct response campaigns, they actually had 17 times the return on ad spend. This is kind of a wrong measurement, but we kind of we used it everywhere, that they had 300% lower price per lead, but they really like decreased price per lead compared to their regular campaigns for like 70%. And they actually had 9,300 qualified warm leads in 30 days. This actually didn't happen in 30 days. It happened like in 2 days, and then they would stop the campaign because they didn't have the call center resources to actually call everyone. So they would have a campaign for like 3 days, and then they would stop it and then turn it on for another 3 days when the call center would reach everyone and kind of finish everything that they did by then. In the process of campaign, because this is all the learning period for them, they actually had management allow them triple the call center resources. And they saw like the huge hit from this and even went to Facebook Menlo Park to kind of talk about this case and talk about it, how it actually helped them, and how Facebook helped them reach the new customers. What was really interesting is that this whole approach was completely new. As I said, this is not a typical, I don't know, romantic visit to a hotel where you actually need a room and maybe dinner or breakfast and that's it. But like, because of it's a resort and a lot of families come in, and you cannot really click and check everything online. Plus, they need to still work on their website to actually make it perfect so that people can do everything pure online. But people coming with families actually like to speak to someone and talk to someone and make sure that everything is as they planned for their long-awaited vacation. So this strategy really confirmed to be amazing. And actually, it was completely new for Facebook as well, because it hasn't been used like this. And this was one of the first Facebook case studies on this topic. And I think it really, really helped. So this is some kind of like a quote from their digital marketing manager, is that like chatbot in Facebook Messenger, and they wanted to translate it to WhatsApp as well. So they're going to do this this year. It proved to be the most efficient source of qualified leads for their hotels, and they needed to triple the size of their call center. Even though chatbot helped them to reduce the time needed to get information from our guests, because the chatbot actually asks you the questions that you need to know, so the agent could just jump in the final stage of the booking. So that's the first case that I wanted to show you. Another one is a CPG case for Donut MG. That's like a mineral water that helps you with digestion. They also used Facebook lead ads, but for something different. So they have this, I don't know, this program where they try to engage people with healthy lifestyle, because of drinking this water actually helps you with digestion and with healthy lifestyle. So what they did is create some kind of detox program. And the goal of this campaign was to sign up to participate in that detox program, which is completely free, and it's really actually quite great if you ever need it, and it's on their website. What they did is actually they wanted to include people into that detox lifestyle that would follow with supported advices, recipes, and benefits of drinking their water. And they have this whole program of you have to drink this much in the morning, this much for lunch, this much for evening, and then when you sign up for detox, then the whole program guides you with it. But actually, the goal of the campaign was to sign up to this detox program. They did it for a couple of years and repeated it until this last year, when they actually decided to focus on conversions. And what they wanted to do is to use the same approach as they used in the last year, but then we kind of advised them to maybe try and focus specifically on conversions and try to let Facebook actually do the algorithm itself. What we usually do when we advise to customers, customers usually think they can trick the system and they know the best way of managing the Facebook ads. And, if I need, I don't know, leads, I'm going to create first, that framework, see, think, do campaign, and then I'm going to kind of retarget them, and I know how the process works. What we actually try to show the customers is that when Facebook, at the beginning of the campaign setup, and you can see that when you are in the front, at the actual beginning, they ask you what is the goal of the campaign. And this is really important, because Facebook is going to show the ad to the person who is more likely to do that goal. So whether it is, I don't know, to sign up for a lead, whether it is to like something, whether it is to make a conversion, whatever you decide on it, they're going to actually, because of all of the machine learning and all of the data they have in behind, they're actually going to focus your campaign on what's that goal that you put inside. So what people would usually do, and we actually advise them as well, is that when you have a couple of goals, which clients tend to have sometimes, like they want everything, they want likes, they want shares, they want conversions, they want leads. That's not how Facebook algorithm works. So if you put it that you want traffic clicks, you're going to get traffic clicks, but actually what is your business goal behind it is leads. Then we always suggest, okay, let's then try and focus all of the budget on what you actually need from this campaign, which was in this case sign up for detox. So they actually for the first time let the system work its magic, and it was done in the market of Slovenia and Croatia, so quite a small markets. And even in those markets, it actually proved that that they can get results that are much better than if they pimple and try to do it on their own. So the campaign was pretty straightforward. They actually let the system, and I wanted to show you this because I want to kind of prove how Facebook product works, that it actually does help you with everything that you wanted to achieve. So in this case, they used the half of the budget that they used in previous 6 months, and they actually resulted with double of the leads that they actually received in the previous campaign. So as you can see, they had like terrific numbers, like 380% increase in website registration with literally half the budget that they asked the first time. Their cost per registration was almost double smaller and 80% lower than on any other advertising platform. So not only Facebook, but everything else that they try. So what I wanted to show you is that sometimes you have to keep it simple. And if you have this straightforward goal that you want to use with Facebook, it's probably going to show the best if you just tell Facebook, okay, I want to do this on this price, and it's going to prove correct. We actually wanted to try it because it does work great in huge markets such as US, because there's so many data that you can get there, but it actually proved that it can work well with a really, really small market such as Slovenia or Croatia. So we were really, really happy with the results. This is just some as well additional quote from a client, how they actually tested, and they tried to do this for the last 4 years, and that this actually became their main onboarding platform. This is a bit salesy, but I wanted to show you how it actually works. So this is it from me, and we can keep the questions for the end.
Thank you, Brank, for your insights and the great stories. All the questions, if any, we will keep for our Q&A session later. Now moving on to our second speaker tonight. It is my pleasure to announce Ray Astafichev. I hope I did it right. Head of business at Spartez Software, who will talk about product discovery as a company culture. So Ray, if you are ready, the floor is yours.
Time to unmute myself. Hey everyone, it is awesome to see you, and I'm really flattered to see all of you today. Long story short, this is not the first time I'm speaking in front of any type of the audience, but this is one of the first times I'm doing kind of webinarish thing. So please cheer me up and let's go. Let's start from the very beginning. I'm sharing my screen right now, show me a bit of my presentation, which I cooked specifically for you. So it's going to be full screen. I don't see myself. If I'm looking embarrassing, don't take this into account. And let's talk a bit about discovery as a company culture. So what I'm going to discuss today and share with you is actually what is discovery, why it is trending and is kind of important, and how you can use that. Let's start from the basics. So who's the fuck is Ray, right? I'm head of business. I was working with the different companies, startups, enterprises, and so on. I was driving teams from 2 to 250 people. I'm a product manager, marketeer. Went to the top management here as a road. I started my job in the IT as a system administrator and then a customer support. And then in love, husband, loving husband, father of 2 daredevils. And I really understand why I'm doing what I'm doing. Every morning I wake up, I do this for share the knowledge with the people like my team or my company or you guys to be able to help you to grow both professionally and personally. But let me stop boasting and let's move on. On the previous thing, you could say, whoa, it's cool, or meh, this is not that interesting, but it's not about this. Let me try to share with you a bit of the knowledge. Before I start, I want to apologize up front. So usually when I conduct my any types of the presentations, I'm trying to make them as juicy as possible, but usually that takes at least an hour. So today I'm time boxed, so I'll try to give you at least something useful, maybe a bit motivated, but we'll see. If you want something new, you have to start doing something else. I'm pretty sure you heard about this, either this phrase or this person, Peter F. Drucker, the godfather of the marketing. Today, I'm going to show you 4 different things. Discovery as is. So what is this? What it came from? What it does? I'll share some stories behind that. Why discovery should be a part of your company DNA. And who are the discovery adepts? Is this just the product managers? Because, hey, that's a ProductTank, right? Or maybe not. And final thing, I'll be able to answer your question and give a few advices with regards to discovery in your company. Okay. So what is this mythical discovery? How product managers, the guys like you and me, understand this? One says, the discovery is actually problem discovery. Other says, no, mate, you get it wrong. This is a product discovery. It's not a problem. You don't need to discover the customer problem. You need to create the product out of it. It's not just enough to discover. Someone can say, shut up, you two. I heard that. It's something from the UX. And the fourth can say, what a phonies. This is a famous TV show. And the right answer is, of course, it is famous TV show. I'm kidding. It all really came from the UX. If we take it about the discovery as the term overall. But moreover, it's not. Because it's actually appeared earlier and it came from your mind and overall people curiosity. In the moment when people started realizing and thinking how to solve problems and how to incorporate this in their daily life, this is exactly where discovery happens. And we had a shitload of examples, starting the wheel, ending up with the Elon Musk starting the dragon today. So what is discovery? In the broad product management term, discovery is a process that basically involves problem research, problem framing, and finding the solutions. And you might say, okay, mate, but you're Captain Obvious there, because when I see the problem, I solve the problem. This is my job as a product manager. The idea of the discovery is not to wait for the problem to appear. It's to be proactively looking for things you should be making better or finding the problems which you can fix. But for the company, this is slightly different. So looks like this. Discovery as a culture is basically creation of the environment which engage every single team member to seek, research, frame, and solve the problems of the business. And you would say, come on, this is not possible. I couldn't expect QA would be doing PM job and solving the customer problems, or project management guy would be doing the customer interviews, not the client, but customers. The thing is, this is both true and not. The reason why I'm saying this is that the world changing, and there are companies who actually dropping the idea of role-oriented work, and they're trying to cover as much things as possible, and make the discovery by the whole teams or even companies, not even just a group of people. The example would be a boring company of Elon Musk again. So problem found, problem researched. Hey, we can do something now. Starting from the tunnels underneath LA and ending up with a Falcon starting today. So hearing this, you might ask, okay, so what actually we as a company, as a startup business owner, as a startup owner, as a business owner, as a team manager, and even as an individual, we can do to change our culture in the company to the discovery. This is called discovery transformation. The thing is, I will be sharing the subjective opinion, which I gathered after interviewing around 60 different both business owners, investors around the world, mostly US, is that the case we have right now, the situation in 90% of the business is about 3 people, which we need to do or take into account while creating this transformation. It is all about risks, it is all about people, it's all about fails. But let me be a bit more precise. This transition is a fucking bumpy ride. I was doing, in my life, I was gathering 4 different teams for the discovery in the 4 different companies, meaning gather teams. It's a get people, coach people, build the discovery teams or team and let them roll to increase the business profits and so on. Another part was I was consulting around 20, so almost 2 dozens, the different companies starting the startups and the enterprises, which were seeking the idea of changing their environment from bureaucracy, things which have on the list and long PLNs, to the discovery phase from their people. Because you may know when it's very hard to be expected from people something which they did not commit to. So overall, this transition is a bumpy ride. But why? So risks. You know that people generally prefer to play safe. And in this state, I will be sharing 2 things, both from the business owner perspective, meaning like I'm a founder, I'm the investor and so on, and from the general IC this individual contributors, so people who do the job, like you and me. So people generally prefer to stay safe, totally logical. People generally afraid to lose money because, hey, if I do something like a discovery, my business might drop and so on. And people generally afraid. And this is very important. We afraid of changes. We afraid of rapid changes. We afraid of switching the type of the work. Sometimes we're afraid even to look outside our small or relatively small box. This is important. Please don't forget about this. I will be referring to this a bit later. Second part, it's about the right people. And you would say, come on, man. This is Captain Obvious statement, which is true. I agree. Any company would be saying and preaching, hey, we need only the right people. But the problem here is that there is a difference between the right people and the adepts of the discovery transformation is that the right people would do the job you pay them for, and they would be doing job in the very, very decent level. And the discovery adepts would be doing a lot more, not just for their sake, but to make your company grow. Do you like it or not? Sometimes. These people are extremely hard to find. And I would give you an example. One of the examples, when I was gathering the discovery team, the whole process of me starting the process and getting the few recruiters to help me and ending up with a full build team from just 4 people, which was 2 PMs, 1 UXer, and a developer, it took almost a year. And the percentage of the penetration, meaning like the people who passed through all phases of interview, 0.5% ended up having a job offer. So this is high demand and hard to find. Second part, these people are hard to control and even harder to navigate. They're creators. They try always to come up with something new, and they requires special, I would not be saying care, but approach. Don't treat them as regular people. They are really, what I'm saying they is rather referring this type of the people who can do something beyond the expectations is someone you should treat differently than maybe other people in your company. And also the main thing is having the people is still not a recipe for success, at least for the success in the short term. And disclaimer, there is no silver bullet at all. It is very important to understand that any discovery is a set of the events which should happen together in order to get your result. So I know that I'm time pressured and I will try to be brief, so don't expect me to give you the silver bullet approach of how to get your discovery people, because it's hard. Last part, it's all about fails. And the fails are not acceptable anywhere, because like, okay, I have a goals, then I failed the goals, fuck. Other part is OKRs. So many big companies implemented the OKRs. The good thing of the OKRs, so objective key results, is that if they built in the proper way, this is a good tool. Hey, this is a direction. This is how we're going to be measuring this. As closer you to this success, as better. Good luck. But many companies actually build the OKR and treat them as a KPI, and people are not happy. Other part is you need to do fails to learn from them in order to succeed. And this is called fucking experience. Because if you don't have the experience, you are not needed anywhere. It can be either job, sometimes relationships, or many other things. So I'm pretty sure you won't be happy lying on the table with the junior, I don't know how this called, surgeon, right? You want this person to be very experienced. Next part is about you need to keep your team engaged, because you remember from the moment of the start till the moment of the gathering the team, it was a year. Another part is when you're running the discovery phases and your teams can face fails, and this is okay. But people are getting demotivated. So it's very important to build the culture within the company. So this is another expansion for the discovery as a culture, which is say okay for the fails. I will share about this a bit later. And the final thing, a bit of luck. How many failures you need to have before a huge success? It means, okay, so it's going to be 1 failure or 27. So it's based now mostly on luck. So short recipe here for discovery transformation for your company. It consists of 4 main parts. Find and keep your adepts. This is extremely tough, but this is something which none of my companies which I consulted was upset about till now, after like 4 years. Be ready to fail and keep in mind the main approach. Fail fast, learn fast, and be ready to repeat. Because this is all about the iterational coming to the result. Crucially important is be venture. So try to venture. Playing it safe would not make your company make X100 and would not make you another Google. And other part is it's no place for bureaucracy. It's fourth. Sorry, I guess I need to count. And no place for the closed communication or closed feedback culture. It should be open feedback. You should be sharing what you think, what you feel to help your teams to go forward. And I know I might sound like a Tom Robbins right now or any other coaches and guides. Again, I'm time pressured here, so no concrete things. Though these things as a guidelines I'm using for myself for quite a while, and this actually works. The three thing most important, the adepts. So you guys think, okay, so this is discovery. This is related to product. So the adepts are product managers, right? Answer is no, because discovery as a process, as a part of the culture, is role agnostic. I had amazing team leads of the developers who was basically driving the team forward, running a hackathon, starting the new products within the 20%, and they were successful. I know the junior marketing manager who was doing the same. I still remember a few people from the DevOps department who was basically framed just on the DevOps job, but at the same time, they was interested to explore some more. So this is not about your role, actually. It doesn't matter the level, starting at junior and ending up the top C-level executive. It's all about your personality and your approach. And some concrete data from my experience, some of them I referenced previously. I had an honor to gather 4 teams for discovery and consulted a lot of companies on this matter. It takes a lot of time to get team on board when you start gathering team, if you have it, and even more time when you're making the transformation for the company, because it requires, well, fire a lot and hire a lot. It is not just for IT, which you might think, okay, so I'm the IT, I'm software engineer or software development company, and so on. This whole transformation can be greatly aligned with the digital transformation. So if any type of the company goes to digital, this thing can be there. Your people should feel safe. Remember Maslow pyramid. You should be able to have enough money to cover at least low level safety. And the best results are not connected to a profession. That's what I mentioned previously. The outcomes of the discovery teams or even companies which are now using the discovery as their part of their culture is exactly this. This is not about the profession. It's about finding the right adepts. And to wrap up, I was able to gather the information about the year-over-year growth. Initially, I put here the giant number in the dollars, in millions of dollars there, but then I decided I'm going to be boasting. So this is why I'm decided to boast in a different way, less aggressive, I assume, and use this thing. So if the biggest, most successful client I had, not a client, it's rather a partner, because sometimes I'm doing this totally for free, based on the company, for the startups especially. So they were having the growth 45% year over year, which is a decent product growth. And 1.5 year after the discovery phase transformation, they have 639% year-over-year success. And this is not because they improved the product. It's because they scaled this to the set of the products, make a set of pivots on the older products, and now company is doing totally different thing from what they started. because they were there to try. And the least successful was just 41%. But this is still a double from the previous round. It is very important to remember one thing. One-man army is still an army. And the reason why I'm saying that is that you're listening to me right now. I don't see how many of you there, and what's maybe you write in something as a questions, but if you feel the things which I'm sharing and saying to you, it looks like I'm describing yourself, there is a chance that maybe you are part of the discovery culture and you just in the wrong company or in the wrong place. So try to do two things. Thing number one, think how you can do discovery things in your current company. Is it possible? Would you be allowed to do this? Do you need an allowance? And so on. And second, if you see that you're nuts and you feel like a bird in a cage, then please spend some time and think, is it really what you need? Thank you. LinkedIn here, email there. Thanks, was nice talking to you.
This was really amazing. Thank you for your wonderful presentation, Ray. I really enjoyed it, and I hope all our audience enjoyed it as well. We can also see some questions popping up, so we'll save those for Q&A session. And guys, just keep posting those in chat, and we will address those later. Now we are moving on to our third speaker tonight, and it's my pleasure to announce Jurica Cerovec, CEO and founder at Microblink, and he will tell us more about building a product without managers. Sounds interesting. Jurica, it's your turn.
Thank you. Do you hear me? First of all, do you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you and see you.
Awesome. So I'll just put up the slides. First of all, it's another CEO and a founder, so CTO and co-founder, because I have tremendous founder and also other co-founders. So that's one thing I need to first say. So my name is Jurica. This is also the first time I'm participating in this type of an event, online event. And thanks Branka and Ray for amazing talks. They're definitely I would say that the second one especially is relatable to what I will be talking about today. So the title of this call is Product Without Managers. I'm not saying that in Microblink we don't have managers. We don't have product managers. But I'm actually thinking about maybe changing the name of the talk to Product with Adepts now after Ray's talk. So we don't have product managers, but we have adepts and other people, especially heads and team leads, that are doing a tremendous job in just making the product go forward. So yeah, as I said, I'm working as a CTO at Microblink, and basically in this talk I would like to talk about the product management process that we have in Microblink, where we basically Microblink is a company with about 100 people and 5 different products, and as I said, we don't have dedicated product managers in that process. And in this talk, I would like to be really open and candid about some good sides and also some challenges that we faced while going through this process, and what challenges that we're facing today and that we will continue facing in the future. So my goal for today would be to for everybody here to maybe think about their processes and also learn maybe from our mistakes and to take some of our maybe advices into consideration while they're thinking about their organization and their process. So first let me describe a little bit of context. So Microblink, we are a company from Zagreb. We are about 100 people strong. We have we're basically a product organization. We have 6 products for now, basically also one that was spun off into a different company. And first of all, I need to say that we are actually, in core, we are technology organization. So we have excellent engineers all across the board. And also what's very interesting about us and very special about us is that we have great skill set and know-how in AI, in computer vision and machine learning. So our guys and girls can do amazing stuff with machine learning and computer vision. So this means that we know how to build products that need to recognize stuff. So recognize stuff from images. So one example is we have a product that can recognize product names from an image of a retail receipt. So we use AI, computer vision, machine learning, and a bunch of different stuff to actually build that. So that's one example. Another example is we can recognize payment information from an image of an invoice or a payment slip. That's also a very, very interesting and also very successful product that we've developed about five years ago. But the product that we are basically mostly concerned about in the last 1 year, most of our development time was actually we invested most of our development time in this product. Is a product that can capture identity information, so ID data from images of identity documents. Sounds simple, right? It's a simple idea, and when you look how that works, it's actually very simple. You simply point the device towards the ID document, and that's it. You get all the personal information out of that document. It can work with multiple different document types, and that's it. Looks like a very, very simple idea, but the reality is that it's actually very complex. At any given moment, we actually have 50 people working on this. We have people working on machine learning models that know how to recognize differentiate between document types. We have people that are working on AI models for reading the text. We have engineers working on mobile SDKs for iOS, for Android. We have people working on the APIs. We have people working on a SaaS product. We have people working on WebAssembly. So it requires just a huge amount of effort from the engineering perspective. And it's actually a very complex product. It looks simple from the UX perspective, and that was our goal. But it's actually technically it's very, very complex. Another thing that brings complexity is the fact that we actually have more than 500 clients around the world using this. So clients from airline companies using Blink ID for online check-in, for example. Clients from banks, for example, using Blink ID for remote customer onboarding, so that users no longer need to go to their branches and banks, physical banks, to open an account. They can open an account using Blink ID through their mobile banking app. I don't know, gambling apps using Blink ID for age verification. So it's actually very, very broad. It's a very simple product from how it looks like, but has very, very broad use cases. And we also have a lot of different customers. And with a lot of different customers, we also have a lot of customer feedback. And customer feedback is great, but a lot of customer feedback is something that's actually that requires a process to handle. And it's also brings complexity to the process. So as a first step, I wanted to just give you up to speed with the context. And next, I would like to talk about how we work and what is the process behind it. So first of all, as I said, we don't actually have dedicated product managers. We in the product management process, we actually have heads of individual teams and also technical leads participating. So no dedicated product managers. We only have heads, and that's how it works for us, and that's how it worked actually for the last five years. So considering Gray's talk, I would say that we only have adepts, which are not product managers, but that also have other responsibilities. So that's critical piece to our process. Another critical piece to the process is that we basically have the cornerstone of our process is basically these meetings that we call product steering. We have them 2 times a week, all in all 1 hour and a half of basically meetings every week. And we basically make all the decisions there. We have all the people at the same table discussing about new developments, new ideas, customer feedback, problems, ideas that come from it in, and basically we have them all on this one meeting where we basically make decision. We have it really often, and it's actually proved us to be really valuable resource so far. Another thing that we have is something that we basically maintain a backlog of all high-level ideas and tasks that we want to do and build in just a bigger scope. We call it R&D backlog, and we revisit this backlog in a period of every 6 to 8 weeks, and we basically have a meeting where in a smaller group, about 6 people, just discuss where we want to go, how we want our product to look like, and so on. So this is important. So product steering is tactics. R&D backlog is something more strategic. Each of our individual teams, as I said, we have about 40 engineers, 50 people all in all working on this product. Every team works. We basically try to work in agile sprints, mostly about 4 weeks long. And every team has their own sprint planning, which needs to be aligned with what we discussed in product steering, R&D backlog, and 4-week sprints. So, and also what's great is that we have so customer feedback. Customer feedback is passed through to the rest of the teams in product steering from basically the frontline teams. And frontline teams for Microblink are our sales team and our customer support team. So heads of our sales team and customer support team basically channel the customer feedback, and we get them to product steering where we can discuss. So basically, heads of individual teams, including sales, marketing, customer support, product development, mobile, web, AI, we are all at the same table when we discuss just ideas and future development. So that's how the process actually looks like. And this process basically we've had our ups and downs, and I would really want to be open about it, and maybe get some ideas when you have some questions after the talk. Maybe some ideas for improvements. We're all open to that. So let's first start with ups. What's great about this process is that we have all stakeholders included in the process. We have sales team, marketing team, engineering teams, everybody sitting at the same table. Everybody can bring up their own ideas, their problems, and we can discuss them. It's just a really democratic process, and that part is definitely great. So individual contributors, so heads of these teams that are participating in this process, when we basically decide something, everyone has commitment and responsibility. It takes responsibility for their work, and that's also great, because if we communicate something and agree something in front of this really large group, that's something that we try to hold on. So this means that we're also rarely overcommitting to what we actually want to do and want to build. So these are all really good sides to the process, but there are also some downsides to the process. Something that we try to improve, and we always we always try to improve the process in Microblink, and these bad sides, maybe not good sides, as not the best sides, is something that we definitely would like to improve in the future. But so one of the key challenges in this kind of process is that we actually don't have someone, a sole person that would have product as their sole responsibility. So the product role is somewhat dispersed between this a bigger group of people, and no one actually is the owner of the product. No one actually thinks about the product when they're at work, or maybe when they're home. No one is actually living the product itself. Everybody lives the product itself in a small piece, a small part of it, but there is no single responsibility for the product, and that's quite challenging. That's challenging because this means that everybody that's contributing to the process, they actually need to wear multiple hats. So we have, for example, head of our product development team. It actually needs to take care of the product development process, the engineering process. He needs to work on technical details, put up product technical specifications, but also at the same time, he needs to put on his product management hat and also contribute to this product focus. The same with our head of marketing, the head of sales, and also other, and also my responsibility as well. So that's actually very challenging. It's challenging because it's hard. You have multiple responsibilities, and it's great that we have people that can manage that, but it's definitely it's challenging at sometimes. One process that also is somewhat harder is just the decision making. It's actually excellent when we are all sitting at a table and we all agree about something. That's excellent, because we have everybody informed at the same time, and this is just tremendous. But when we actually when we have different opinions about something, different opinions about prioritization, or what we should focus on, or whether we should listen to that particular customer or not, then the decision making becomes harder. Basically, it's a bit more democratic process, and ideally, the decision making process would be left to one or maybe two people that get information from everybody else, and then they decide, and then they take responsibility for that decision. This is something that it is kind of challenging for us. As I said, it's great. Decision making is great when we all agree on something, but it's more challenging when we don't. So yeah, maybe to conclude, it's basically Microblink exists for basically 8 years, and we managed to get to a company that's growing about 70% year over year for the last 8 years. Have about 100 people, have customers around the world, and we are a product organization, and we did that without dedicated product managers. So this is kind of like a proof that it can be done. But considering some challenges and some improvements in the process that we can do, we definitely are considering potentially to changing that. It's actually very hard to find adapts that would be ideal for our process, because it is a product that is actually technically very heavy. It's based on AI, but we believe that we're going to need to slightly change the process compared to what we have today. And maybe to conclude with something actionable, I would really love to get your feedback on the process that you just heard about. Maybe if you have some ideas about improvements, and maybe to hear more about how that works in your companies. So yeah, that's it from me.
Hey, that was awesome. Let's get everyone back. Alex, you ready? Okay, we almost have everyone. Hey, this was a great thing. I saw a lot of great comments. People from all over the place saying great things about you guys. I'm just showing a few on the screen. Our man Ray was spitting fire. Okay, so we have a few questions, and I'm just gonna pick one randomly. Okay, so let's try this one. This is Alexander. You guys know him? So who wants to take this one?
I guess I'll be the one. This is my professionality, actually, or the thing which gives me my vibe. Okay, so discovery. This very depends on what you mean here in the word discovery, because it's either discovery process for the PMs or the discovery culture. I will answer both. So for the discovery PMs, let's think about what is growth team. It means I had something as a startup. I started growing. I grew to some extent, and I went to the plateau. I'm doing whatever I'm doing. This shit just doesn't work. So the idea of the growth team is to use different approaches from both marketing, product, PR. So combine this all together and make explosive cocktail. And this comes from the life hacks, like I use different email triggers, event-based marketing, create a chain, drip campaigns, and so on, and ending up by finding the proper functionality, which is a freaking demanded on the market, and helps your product to lift higher. So the good example would be the thing which has totally non-growth team. It was a case with the Yahoo, I guess, when in the very beginning of the starts, when they introduced their email, one of the features they added was a very minor. It was some person requested this. They was adding the link on the bottom of the email sent by Yahoo, something like this. And the usage of this feature was tremendous because it was something fresh on the market at the first email periods. And this basically created them like around 400% growth in the usage of the tool. So people were spreading this use once after another. People start using the software and so on. So while I'm saying this, growth teams are amazing if they're combined together. If they are from the adepts, meaning discovery type of the people. And the third on if you're on the plateau already. If you are in the process of growing right now after the initial start, iterating on the customer feedback and so on, this is useless because you'll be paying money for the people who would be doing their job while the product is still growing itself. I will rephrase myself, not useless. This will give some extra growth, but the whole idea about the growth is when I couldn't do anything myself. So I'm out of the ideas, I'm out of the things. Customers, I did everything customer wanted, but it's still not growing. This is a good moment to start either sales team, which is dedicated sales process for different purposes, or growth team, or better both. With regards to the other part, second part which I was mentioning, the culture, the growth teams. In the initial concept, which I was drawing, it's not about the growth teams, engineering teams, and so on, because the whole discovery culture is role agnostic. It's about if you have people who are awesome in growth, and I happen to know a lot of professionals like this, they either have the discovery gene or they don't. If they have it, they are trying to find the different ways and methods how to move your business, but not by the book. Because one of the worst things which every one of us might face as a people manager is when you hire in the person and the person is able just to follow the best practices. So not able to step up outside the road which he or she knows. And this is the case. So the overall growth teams are amazing in any stages. I mean, like amazing in any types of the companies, but for the discovery, culture, culture, 1, 2, 3. For the companies who basically are following the discovery culture, it would be amazingly hard to find the proper growth people, and right after to keep them. But it's still possible. So yes, the growth teams are needed. Then depends on the company culture. It requires different types of the growth professionals, and overall, this is a very cool direction. Kind of like this.
Thank you, Ray. Alex, you got him going. This could be a good lightning talk.
Yeah, it's nice actually. Growth is important. And one more, and maybe by the way, guys, maybe someone else wants to add on the top of this. It's just a question to all the speakers, not just the Ray. Jurica, maybe you wanna add on this?
You mean on the previous question or the
yeah, on the previous question, on on growth team?
Yeah, my thought would be that so in Microblink, for example, so growth would be just the second stage. Discovery would be the first one. So yeah, I would say that in terms of discovery, in our experience, mostly people that are close to the customers, so sales, marketing, customer support, and also technical people, engineers, technical leads. They would most likely be the ones that would contribute most initially, and then growth, that would be the second stage. But that's in our experience.
Nice, Branka. Maybe you can add on this. Maybe you have been in working with actually growth teams, maybe in other companies, and you have some insights about it. I think that Branka may have some technical issues. So maybe we go to the next question, which wasn't asked by me. So actually, VG asks if actually everyone needs to know how to code, and specifically like the C-level people, the leaders of organization, in order to drive the company which is built around some technology. What do you think, guys? Who wants to be the first?
Maybe I would say no. I would say it helps, but it's not required. Depending on the business that you do, even for like these highly technical businesses, it's not the ability to code that makes knowing how to code that makes a good leader. It's much more. I mean, it's more than that. I think it definitely helps if you have understanding of the capabilities of what technology can do. But I wouldn't say that this necessarily means coding. So I would say no, it would help, but it's not required. That's my take.
I guess I can chime in here. So it's actually a very, very right comment from my perspective, and a good question. So let's remember what these senior software engineers saying about some of the parts of their work. They should be able to work on the high abstraction level, high abstraction constructs. The idea here is that you should not know how this thing specifically works, from my perspective, but you should be able to understand the methodology, the mechanism behind it. So this thing work with this thing, they talk with each other, then they give something there, and so on. Example would be, again, AI. So the example would be, so for me as a person who is not the engineer, so I don't have technical background whatsoever, the basic thing, okay, so you have some AI black box, which you need to feed with the different data sets, meaning the set of information which is structured in the proper way. After feeding specific number of times, machine learning algorithm can take this out and get some outcomes. Very basic, but the overall approach towards this is like generally enough to understand the concept of the how to work with the such types of the companies or such types of the products. And the answer here for the from my perspective, the question itself has the answer. So when everyone needs coding, so what do you prefer better? To have a coding or to have a leadership? So my take, I prefer to have amazingly strong leadership or leader versus a very strong coder being a leader. Because this is actually, you as a person who's being supervised by the leadership, by the mentor, by the team lead, by the CEO, you very often might take into account his professional experience, but he might be amazing pro in the craft, but a dick as a manager, and trust me, you won't like it.
Yeah.
That's very descriptive. Thank you.
Yeah, actually, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Alex.
Yeah, actually, I just wanted to add that I was always, when some people like product managers, like junior product managers ask me if you need to know how to code as a product manager, if you know like technical stuff. I always say that my experience in coding is my unfair advantage, but it's not necessary. You need to understand how it works. But if someone will ask me if you want a person with super tech skills to be a product manager or super business skills, I would vote 100% of 100 about business?
Well,
So,
I would like to comment here because this is interesting. You give me the example of the PM. This is really cool. But the question was about the leaders. And the thing is, as a PM, let's say I can say in the 3 years back, the idea of the PM who codes was like, nah, I don't like it. I won't be coding. Right now, when you go through the job requirements through the top companies, SQL 2 years, SQL 3 years, SQL 4 years, minimal requirements to get to the senior position and so on. So at least knowing the databases and knowing the MySQL is a must for the PMs. But for the leaders, who cares? They can usually say, okay, so please do me this report and we're fine.
Okay, it's good that you're taken, because I would say why I did it. Because product manager is automatically, for me, associated with the leader of the organization. Maybe that's because we're on the ProductTank. Yeah, but like, I think this SQL is more like it came in because it's a tool for also like data analytics and understanding what's happening. It's not specifically that you need to code, like usually people think about coding. Nice. Thanks for all your answers. And I think we have specific question for Branka.
well, can I pitch in? I think we do have one. So I think it's actually very useful for everyone to learn coding, and actually it's been helping me recently with my family when my son is learning how to solve equations. Now he has this mobile app. Some of you may know it. He scans equations and it gives it, the whole result step by step, and he's like, I have this. But given the principles of development and in how we break things up logically, being a developer, it helps so much to instill this kind of reasoning skill into his workflow and mindset, how he solves equations. Once he learns how to break things down into kind of smaller denominators, then hey, things solves itself without technically mobile software. But if it's offline, I think we have this.
Can I just really
ahead.
briefly jump in? So this app is actually Microblink's spin-off. It's a spin-off company from Microblink. It's called Photomat. It's now a different company. It's basically it's a huge hit. It's one of the most popular educational apps in the world. More than 100 million downloads. So actually, I had to mention that. So sorry about that.
Yeah, it's a great app. Whenever I see it, I can't believe how well it does its job. And my handwriting is not good. It's not good at all. And you guys figure it out. So it's great. Anyway, we have this awesome dude asking about advertising. And hey, this is for our lady in the group. So when is a company big enough to start advertising and competing with big boys with huge budgets for advertising?
Thank you, Jurica, for this salesy question for me. So as soon as you need customers and you cannot get them any other way, you need to start advertising. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you need to fight with big budgets and promos and TV. That's why digital is here. That's why everything is relatable to Facebook and Google and similar tools and I used to be a Googler, so I can advocate for that as well. It depends. We all know our friends or family who have small restaurants, and then they would maybe advertise to attract new guests in the house. And if they can do it with organic and they can do it without any dollar spent, that's amazing. But as soon as they miss this business opportunity and they miss business, they actually need to pay something to get something. So it's never too early, but you need to have a product that you actually need to deliver to someone. So I would say maybe that.
I guess I will add something again. I had a chance to work in a company called MGAD. I was their VP of product. It is actually one of the biggest native advertisement networks in the world. So the thing is, there is a lot of things going on with the traffic and with the advertisement via native advertisement right now. So answering this question, my perspective for the startup overall is that when you're thinking about your startup, you're thinking about two important things. What should I build and how I scale? Usually the question about how I scale, so how I grow overall, is a plan for around a year. So, okay, so I would be doing forums, I would be going for the Reddit, I would be doing, I don't know, the SEO for the website to make organic growth amazing. And in 1 year, usually people got this euphoria got vent off. So you're like, okay, so what should I do next? And there are a few ways. If you have money, you go advertisement. And this can be anything. Depends on the business you're having, geographical location you're having, but overall budget you're having. It's like you can go Facebook ads, you can go Google ads, you can go LinkedIn ads, you can go native advertisement, you can go content creation, and so on. So that's actually the second part. Another part is when you're thinking, okay, so let me bet that I would grow organically, and also I'll try to make the valuable content for the end user. And you automatically go the second way. Basically, I will create a shitload of the content to make sure that, first of all, it's SEO friendly, and the Google over time will digest this through this stomach and it will give me higher and higher rankings. And the second part is this is a really engaging and fun content which people are going to be sharing. So this is two different approaches. And if you're very lucky and you have a lot of money, you can go both at the same time.
Nice. Thanks.
Can I just add on to this? Like, if you don't need to advertise to attract customers, and as you said, there are ways through organic, through content, through reading materials. Definitely try everything, but you might need to start with something small.
Nice. We have one more, or maybe Yusuf, would you like to add on the top of it?
Our experience is that we usually try organic, and also this app that Gregor mentioned. So we basically didn't spend anything in advertising. Organic. So great product is first thing. If you have great product, then this is just the basics. And then organic word to mouth is definitely the second step. But now we're actually at a point where Branka is definitely right. We need to invest. Previously, we invested more in like traditional, like attending conferences, fairs, and stuff like that. But now we're investing more in digital advertising, and we are at the stage where we actually need to do it now in order to scale faster, to continue the scale going.
Nice, thanks. We have a question.
Do you want to do one more, or?
Yeah. Let's do. I would say let's do 10 more minutes, and we will wrap up with 90 minutes World Product Day evening. So everyone can go and get a drink, but at home. So we have a question not from me or Greg, which is good. From FCF Ukraine. So how we can retain and engage team champions? Your tips and tricks. Who wants to share their tips and tricks first?
I'll be last this time.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe I can start. So actually, the process that we have in Microblink is this product without managers. It's basically a bad name, I know, but this process is basically including everyone. Everyone is included. So all the team champions are included. When we discuss what we are doing for the product as a company, everyone's included. Everyone has a say. So I think that's the biggest and the single most important reason to keep everyone engaged and to retain them. We are basically very lucky to have a pretty low turnaround, employee turnaround. So, and a part of it is because of that. We also have pretty flat hierarchy, and this proved to work for us. So basically ability to participate, ability to be creative, not to basically get tasks from other people, but to ability to participate with their own ideas, and to have flexibility and freedom for what people think that should be done. So yeah, this is how it works with us.
Nice, thanks. Branka, would you like to share your thoughts on this? Okay, I think we oh.
I had some technical difficulties, so I didn't hear the question.
Oh, have you? Oh,
Is
so
that the
I
one on
think
the screen?
oh. So the question is about retaining and engaging team champions. What do you have in mind in your teams? How have you retained and engaged, your fellow champions? And how have you been retained, maybe as a team champion, by your supervisors and the leaders? Okay, things that unfortunately Frank has issues with connection. Let's ask Ray to share his thoughts. I bet he has.
Okay. Yeah, I'm this type of the guy who usually have something to share, and I don't think this is a compliment for myself. Okay, so let's think about the most important parts. So first of all, who are team champions? This is the people who probably provide the best or the most value for the either dedicated team or the company. So this is why I'm divided into groups. The IC, the individual contributors who just basically do their job, sometimes good, sometimes not that good, and versus the stars. So these champions or amazing people who you very hard to find. They can be professional in one zone, they can be discovery stars, whatever. So let's talk about those. For me, I have a set of the rules overall. So first of all, it's about giving them freedom. If you want to retain and keep the people who are smarter than you, the best approach is not to boss around. Give them freedom, show them the direction where to go, and give the freedom to execute, make mistakes, fail, rise up, and do this again. So this is the first part. Other part is actually somehow related. It's about creating the safe environment. What I'm meaning in this, when you work in the small company, this is not a problem. Hey, it's okay, let's do this thing real quick in a few days, then make a pivot if it doesn't work, no worries. If it doesn't work, we drop it and take a new one. This is a great scenario. Best scenario, if you're working in the bigger company, when it happens that your manager has a manager or directly stakeholder, like founder, who realize that this team somehow making mistakes, so I need to dive deep to understand what they do or how they do, or even if they're doing anything right, because maybe they're not. And this is the moment when the most talented and amazing teams becomes demotivated and leaves the company. It's when micromanagement starts or microcontrol. The whole idea of the champions is you trust them that they are capable, otherwise they're not champions. Really, because if you call them champions, they had a track of record in your company which shows they're cool. So why the fuck bother and dive in and try to intervene versus give them the freedom to work? And the third part is actually a bit situational. We all people, let's remember the Maslow pyramid. You can be whatever engaged you want, but if you don't have enough money, this is a problem. This is the moment when you start looking around. If you want these real champions to keep them engaged, high salary, good bonuses for the results, for example, for the outcomes of the company, or even the share or the option in the company is a great way to keep those people with you for a pretty long period of time. And moreover, the idea about the options, I bet you understand how this works when you basically say, okay, in 4 years, we get this number of the option of the company, this level, this volume of revenue, money, whatever. This basically means the person is being dived into the team and company for years. And usually this goes for the two things. Number one, the person stopped over time being a bus factor. Meaning, if today he's going to be hit by the bus, well, okay, business still works. If it's going to be 4 years ago, sorry, Michael, we're in deep trouble. Another part is they share knowledge and stop being irreplaceable. So even if they're tired with the company, they don't feel that they're champions anymore, no need to keep them. If you could not give them something new and reignite them, because it's all about your inner self, inner fire. You either have it or you don't. And if you see that they are already okay, so I don't feel well, I don't want to do this, there is no engagement, either let them go, this is fine, or give them another purpose, reignite them. Because very important thing to take into account, many companies has missions, right? Our mission is blah, blah, blah. But in order mission be successful, the mission should have Messiah. So the person who's basically company would be following after this mission. So these champions is exactly the apostles of the Messiah. So they follow what they trust and believe in. And the Messiah can say, you did great in this direction, here another one. Super, let's go there. And he got all his champions moving in other direction, immediately reignited and happy to work again. So summing up, freedom, money, and safe environment.
All right. Thank you. You are our champions tonight. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Birgur. And thank you to our audience for so many wonderful questions. Thank you also, Branka, Ray, Jurica, for joining us, first of all, and sharing your knowledge and experience. I believe everyone enjoyed your valuable content. So for the final remarks, I also need to send a huge thank you from both Croatian and Ukrainian ProductTank organizers to our community members and every single one who joined us tonight. We are very proud that we managed to celebrate the World Product Day together. So thank you very much for joining. Just so you know, this presentation will stay on YouTube, Mind the Product channel. So feel free to share it with the people in your network. And that's it, folks. Stay tuned. Thank you. See ya.
And happy World Product Day.
Bye. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Go get some beer and celebrate. See you.
Let's go.
Bye.
Thank you, guys. Bye.